So I guess it's time for another round of the battle rating changes for the month of January. And there's surprisingly not a whole lot, but enough to warrant its own talking head, at least for my channel. But with that being said, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys have been having a wonderful week, as there hasn't been way too much to cover in War Thunder. Not a whole lot has really been happening outside of what we're talking about today, which does feature, of course, a brand new battle rating for top tier air, which at some point is going to affect ground forces, but we'll get more into that probably in a future video when that does come around, as well as some changes to existing vehicles and some very confusing ones that I will get into a little bit later in today's video. But before we begin, I do want to let you guys know really quick that if by any chance you do enjoy these videos, you did enjoy it, or you enjoy the channel overall, maybe subscribe to the channel. I am trying to hit that 100K, and we'll hit it at some point this year. And I'm looking forward to having that plaque on my wall soon. And also, all the information I'll be providing will be linked down below in the description. And please keep in mind, a lot of this is going to feature much of my own opinions and my own experiences. Yours may be a little bit different than mine. I will point out the facts, and I will also just insert some opinions. And if you know my channel, you'll understand. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the official dev blog before we jump into the actual changes. There is a summary, which is very nice, and I greatly appreciate that. It reads a summary of some key changes. Along with these changes, we're planning to increase the max battle rating for aviation to 12.7, which is going to affect some near top tier vehicles, which are now going to a higher battle rating. He goes on to add, let's note two vehicles, the Type 81C, which is one of the newer SPAAs that Japan did get, and it's a very formidable one too, as you'll read right now, and the AGS, which to me kind of came as a big surprise. It is an old event vehicle, which has seen some dramatic changes over its life, and for some reason, Gaijin just won't let it go. More details to follow shortly. The Type 81C will be increased from 10.0 to 11.0 battle rating, which is quite the jump up. And this is their opinion. This is because at the moment, in terms of effectiveness, this vehicle is the undisputed leader amongst all air defense systems and effectively fights against aircraft both at battle rating 10 to 11 and higher. As the AGS is going up from 10.3 to 11.0, this vehicle will also be given the MA33. I kind of read that in my own words, but I just want to double back a little bit over to the Type 81. Yikes. That's all I gotta say. I mean, I understand why you're moving this up to 11.0 because it's good. I mean, I've had a hard time dodging it too, but one particular platform, and I know you know exactly what I'm gonna say next, that has been performing incredibly well is the Strela, which by the way has gone up in battle rating. We'll get into that in just a quick second, but to say it's the best platform, dude, I fear the Strela way more than I do the Type 81. I've actually dodged a couple of Type 81s. We'll get more into that once we get to the Strela bits. He then goes on to talk about the battle rating changes, brackets, etc. for simulator battles, for at least air sim. Anyways, I'm not really too knowledgeable on that kind of stuff, unfortunately, so if you want more details on it, I don't know who I can recommend you to outside of one individual, such as Wingling Dragon, who is a brilliant streamer who has been MIA for a little minute. I wonder where he's at right now. Great guy. Check him out for sure if you watch stuff over on the Twitch side of things. Oh, and before I go into the actual changes themselves, if you don't agree with any of this stuff, go to that link of this page right here and drop your own comments. Let them know what's going on. Remember, you can change these. You can keep these from happening. So keep that in mind and no complaining. Okay, maybe you can because sometimes they ignore us. I get it, all right? But let's go over to the BR changes. So interestingly enough, when it comes to ground forces, this is the entire list. It's not a whole lot. It's just a handful of vehicles for the most part, at least in Warthlander terms. Just about every single vehicle, minus 2 of them actually, is going up in BR, right? We have the Leopard 4070 to 5.3, which makes sense. You know, the M41A3 going up to 5.3, the AMX 10P going to 5.7. But one area in particular I want to focus on is the upper of 7.7, which unfortunately 7.7 is going to get gutted, sort of, okay? It's being replaced to some extent, but if you take a look at the AMX 50, the Samoa, the EBR, etc., you have these vehicles which are now effectively going to be fighting in an environment that they just don't well suit in, because there's composite ERA, etc., as well as more stabilized platforms that will definitely tear you a brand new one. But going back to what I was talking about with the Strela from 9.3 to 9.7, as I said earlier, I fear the Strela. I take it with me to top tier, and I've actually gotten, I think, more kills with it than I do against the Pantsir, which kind of says a lot in itself. I mean, I don't know the type of anyone I've been killed by it, but here's the cool thing about Japan. There's not many top tier players for it. I would know. I see them maybe once a blue moon. Don't mind my phone in the background. The players who do play Japan are exceptionally dangerous players. They have to be. They went through the suffering. It's like the Italians. When you see an Italian, they're probably going to be a good player. Same goes for the Japanese, which means that they've been playing with the Type 93. They know how to throw those missiles out there, which makes it a formidable platform. The Strela is a very common one, but at least in my opinion, is incredibly forgiving. Now, granted, the missile doesn't have IRCCM. It doesn't matter. The FOV I think it has is so narrow that it doesn't even see the flares. Sure, it's rare that it happens, but let's just say on my F-16, my Mirage, if it's coming at me, I'm dead. Simple as that. And then we go over to the AGS, which I think when it first came out was, I think 9.7 or 10.0. I think it was 9.7, right? But Gaijin has done so much to it. They've buffed up the engine power, moved up the BR. They gave it M774 at the same time, I believe, and kept it at around 10.3. Now they're giving it M833 and moving it to 11.0, which is essentially top tier. Now, don't get me wrong. I bring the vehicle out on top tier on occasion. It does do the job. M833 is a decent round. It's not a good one. It's not the greatest for the BR, but it is way better than nothing. And seeing that the AGS is an event vehicle, which means that you cannot buy it anymore outside of the player marketplace or earn it, which means you're going to be spending, what, over 100 Gaijin coin to get this thing, which in itself, you know, if you have the money and it's worth it, sure. But I don't know, Gaijin, this is one I think you can leave at 10.3 and it'll just stay there, because 11.0, I mean, it's bad. Just saying. Now, when it comes to the aviation side of things, unfortunately, it's not really my area of expertise. Instead, I'm gonna drop all the way down and take a look at the top tier stuff, which is where I will see my aircraft at, right? All the Mirages, everything that is top tier for the most part is gonna be moved up to 12.0, 12.3, and now 12.7 in arcade and realistic. As you can see right here, it's just all the new stuff going up to 12.7. That's it, right? The Gripens, the F-16s, Su-27. I don't really see some of the other MiG-29s as well, which means that to those who are struggling right now to grind top tier aviation, you guys are going to have a little bit more breathing room, although I don't really know what to think about this. Let me know in the comment section. Do you feel this is a good decompression, or is it just making things a little bit worse? I can't speak for you guys. All I know is that top tier and ground RB is going to be very exclusive to now top tier, which means that the 11.3s might get sucked down to 10.3 more often, seeing that most top tier players will have one of these fixed wing aircraft. I mean, I have the F-16 and the F-15 on my lineup, which actually I don't see the F-15 here, which is interesting. Maybe because, well, that's weird actually. It's not there. Maybe I'm just missing it. I don't know. This list isn't complete, so things may change very soon. But that's it for when it comes to these upcoming BR changes. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to cover naval. It's just not my area of expertise, as I do enjoy playing it on occasion, just not nearly as much as I do everything else, unfortunately. Until they bring in subs, which I would like to hope would be at some point in this coming year. or this year, excuse me. I still think I'm in 2023 right now. Let me know what you guys think about these changes. Do you agree with them? Do you not? And please keep in mind your opinions, not on this video. No, use the link, go to the forums, bring out your opinions, let them know what you think if you want to see those changes. Otherwise, they're going to go through and that's going to be the end of that. But since you're still here, let me know in the comments exactly what you think. And, you know, there's some detailed ones. I'll heart it. Why not? But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you want to see more content, don't forget to find me over on Twitch, as well as on TikTok and various other platforms, including Twitter, now X. No one calls it X, it's still Twitter, as well as maybe even in my Discord if you guys would like to just hang out. I hang out there almost every day, so check it out for sure. And that's it. Thank you again. I will see you not only in the next video or even the streams, but most certainly in War Thunder itself, just not in USA. I'm sorry to say. I'll see you next time.